Tracy Does Conan is the seventh episode of the first season of 30 Rock. This is directed by Adam Bernstein, written by Tina Fey, and I have to say this is a pretty cool episode. There will be some spoilers as I go through the episode and talk about what happens. I won't quite do a scene-by-scene breakdown, but it will be pretty much in chronological order. And it starts off with Liz at home with Dennis. We have a pretty interesting close-up of his mouth eating food, trying to clearly suggest that Liz is maybe a little bit grossed out by him. And she goes to donate blood, which is always a great thing to show in a sitcom, and suggests to the person taking her blood that she's going to break up with her boyfriend that night, which establishes where she's at with Dennis, and we'll come back to this at the end. She then bumps into Jenna at work, and Jenna is upset because she's been bumped for Tracy to go on Conan. Tracy is supposed to be going on Conan. Jenna just thinks that Jack doesn't respect her. She's been in a film recently. The Rural Juror is coming out soon, which is our first mention of the Rural Juror, which is brilliant fun. And we then see a clip of the last time Tracy was on Conan, and he basically nearly stabbed Conan. So there's a bit of a panic about how he's going to act, and he then starts to act very abnormally. He's using his phone, or his shoe rather, as a phone, and there's one bit that I loved where he's on the ceiling, which was just fantastically done, and his behaviour escalates throughout the episode, and he needs his medication. And he tells Liz his doctor is Dr. Spaceman, and Liz sees on the bottle of pills that Tracy should have that it is Dr. Spaceman. And then she phones up, and he says, "Hello, it's Dr. Spaceman," which I love. I thought that was absolutely fantastic. And Kenneth goes to get his prescription. It's a nice change of location. I always like it when we're out and about with Kenneth. Those scenes are usually very brightly lit and quite happy, even though everybody's in line at a pharmacy. There's something about it that's brightly coloured. And Kenneth, it's probably Kenneth, actually, putting a smile on my face. And Liz then has to talk with Tracy, and by this point we're pretty much at the end of the episode. The majority of the episode is Tracy's behaviour just escalating, and I thought that was all done really well, and the pacing of the episode is fantastic. It is very quick, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. And then of course the big question is, will Tracy end up being on Conan? And it is time for Conan, and he goes on the show. He does a dance. He seems like he's about to take his trousers down at one point, and then he sits down. Conan is visibly relieved. Really cool to have Conan on the show, of course. And he falls asleep. Tracy falls asleep straight away, which honestly is probably the best case scenario, because if he's sleeping, he can't do anything that he shouldn't be doing, anything dangerous. So all's well that ends well there. Liz, exhausted, goes home, and Dennis hands her a burger, and she's just too tired to break up with him. So we're not quite over that relationship yet. I know what happens next. Well, I have a vague recollection of what happens in the coming episodes, but we'll see what's in store as we get there. And then we end quite delightfully with Kenneth pretending he's on Conan and doing a little dance, and it's really happy and really pleasant, and I rather enjoyed it. It's a fun episode. It's quite a crazy episode, but it's definitely one that's really entertaining. And I don't know if I'd say it's one of my favourite episodes from season 1. Maybe. It's got a lot to offer. Tracy Does Conan is definitely a really good episode of 30 Rock.